And with the clock ticking 3 o'clock, it is time for our February webinar of the Working Group Human Capital of Water Europe. This time we will talk about the human skills in creating a year of skills for the water sector. Well, we are here every month on the third Thursday of the month in the afternoon to talk about the skills in the water sector, what's needed, what should we develop further, how should we do that, what's currently being done, and what challenges, opportunities, talents do we already have that we can build upon. And with that said, we are very much welcome to have you here. My name is Naomi Timmer, and I'm the leader of the Working Group Human Capital of Water Europe. I'm also the director of H2O People, based in the Netherlands, but more about that in a bit later, because this webinar is really to my heart, close to my heart, as the skill, the human skill being central in this episode. I have the honor to introduce some people that we are going to discuss further. What does that mean? And how does it play a role in the water sector? The Working Group Human Capital, the working groups within Water Europe are membership-based, and with all the members of Water Europe, we discuss the current trends and see how we can develop further, collaborate, and learn from and with each other. And at Working Group Human Capital, we focus on the human-centric approach. So what can we improve, learn, and develop further? Within this webinar series last month, we already spoke about the skill of citizen engagement. You can view back at LinkedIn to see how you can do that. And for today, we have the development of human skills. And next month, we will dive into the role of artificial intelligence and the skills development. So stay post and hope to see you then as well. So for this month and this hour, I'm very pleased to welcome Christian Carboni and Gabriele Knofman to join me in the conversation about the role and development of human skills in the water sector. And we're going to talk about what it is as a training provider, how we look at it from the industry and health, and what does it mean for European projects? And probably we have much more to talk about and see what will come up. So if you have any questions, do not forget to post them, and we will try to get to them as well. So empowering the people in water. Why is that so important, and why do human skills matter in the water sector? When I started H2O People 5 years ago, we saw that in this fast-changing world, we often talk about technical innovations and how that can support development. But we often forget that, first of all, people need to think of those technical innovations. They need to handle the technical innovations. And probably the biggest challenge is, can we do that? And that is, and then comes in our human skills, because how we are going to do that all together, that is part of the human skills. And that's the topic for today. And the people that are working in the water sector, because in my opinion, that's a very broad perspective. So all of us, we need to see how we deal with these transformations. And there is also a link to a white paper published, well, it's already at the end of 2022. So it's not 2 years old. It's a bit over a year old. And one of the most essential things that we came up as the Working Group Human Capital is that lack of human-centric approach. The lack of the ability to keep people, to train talents, to make them feel seen, to give them a value for their work, and a lack of an integrated approach in this. And hopefully today we can talk more about how can we do that, what's needed as well, because it's still a very broad topic. And how can we support all these major transformations that we see in the world and in the world around us? Next month, we're talking about artificial intelligence. But still then, human skills are the basis of, in my view, of a lot of the things that we need to do as well. Because, well, this is one of the pictures that is the future employee in any sector. It doesn't matter what you do, but this is the key of what we need to be able to do. Because the world got so complex, and there's so much knowledge, there's so much data. We were just talking about data previous to the webinar, and there's so much going on. How are we going to do that? We need to be able to collaborate. We need to be able to communicate. We also need to think twice about what we believe and how we're going to think about, or how we're going to implement it, because it matters to people. And we need a bit of creativity to make that happen. And this month, a podcast was published with me, and I want to add one of the things, and it's not with a C, it's the fun part, because working in the water sector is fun, and we need to make it fun as well, because that is supporting innovation. Feeling safe and working together, having fun together will bring us into new ideas. But that will be my addition to this whole view as well. So an integrated approach, we already said it, we miss it sometimes because, or we think all the way into innovation and technical innovations, or we dive into the content of things, or we only talk about soft skill development or about networking, but it is all part of us and how we work and how we can be effective. As H2O people, we created 2 programs, all based on these 3 pillars and having an integrated approach. One for European Junior Water Program for young professionals, and one for advanced water leaders as well. I hope we can talk more in this webinar about that integration of soft skill development and content and why that's needed. So I hope I can challenge the speakers to that already a bit as well. But if we speak about human skills today, we can look at different things. It's personal and professional development, personal leadership, it's cooperation skills, management skills, leadership skills, and future-century skills. We already spoke about the complexity in the world. How are we dealing with it? Of major importance. There's much to learn, and much to not only to learn from the books, but also to experiment and experience, because that's and play, because that's how we remember, and that's how we learn as well. And for the Blue Innovation Track, because one of the speakers here today, he was being a bit critical to me and to the European Junior Water Program, because he said, well, you can train all those young professionals and to have an integrated approach, but if the leaders don't step up and don't change as well and change their way of giving space to work, we're not going anywhere. So that's why we created the Blue Innovation Track for advanced water leaders. And you can see by the trainings that we do, it's not the basic water training, because it's dealing with emotions. It's dealing with the unknown and volatile. So it's different, complex, different systems behind it that we want to discuss with the water leaders, and of course, bring them together with what the young professionals learn. And hopefully then we can also support the full water sector in that sense. So that was a bit of a short history. So you know also my background. I do have an interest in this topic. I am not just facilitating, but I'm also very curious. So that curiosity brings me to Gabrielle, because you are a technical training provider in the Netherlands for the water sector, but you also work on human skills. So I will stop sharing. And I will give the floor to you.
Thank you,
How
Naomi.
does it play a role? Yes.
Thank you, Naomi. Let me see. Okay, I think it's not going as it should. I'm trying to get it done. Okay. Okay. Problem. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this done, but there we go. I think this should work now. Okay, thank you, Naomi. I think everybody can hear me now. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Gabrielle Knuffman and I'm director of World Water Academy and wateropleidingen in the Netherlands. A short introduction is, I think, needed. Wateropleidingen and World Water Academy were founded in the Netherlands exactly 30 years ago this year. The sector in the Netherlands recognized the need for lifelong learning and continuous development for water professionals to keep up with the rapid changes. I think they were ahead of their time. And really, when you leave university and you enter the sector right now, then really your skills and your knowledge is already outdated. And this is exactly where we come in as World Water Academy. For water professionals, it is absolutely essential to have the knowledge and skills to work with innovative techniques and to be able to apply them in practice. Keeping up with new developments and innovations that are constantly emerging will remain a challenge. By offering continuous learning and training, World Water Academy is aiming to bridge this gap. But we do more than that. When you look at statistic, I think you can see that in 23, we had over 3,500 participants. And our clients or our participants come from water companies, the water utilities, but also the water authorities, municipalities, consultancy firms, but definitely also the industry. So it's a very varied group of participants and clients that we have. When you look at the disciplines, you can see on the right-hand side, it goes from water supply to water resource management, flood protection, wastewater treatment, and so on. Those are all rather technical courses. But with respect to climate adaptation and soft skills, we also have a lot of courses. Last year, we started over 318 courses, and some of them, or half of them, are open for registrations. Others are tailor-made courses that we make for water companies or for municipalities or other clients like the industry. I prepared a small movie, and I think this will give you an idea of what we do and why we think soft skills, human skills, and leadership skills should be integrated. So I'm going to play the video now.
The water sector faces various challenges, from issues related to water scarcity, water quality, outdated infrastructure, governance, and environmental sustainability. The impact of global warming across Europe is immense, ranging from a lack of water causing wildfires to too much water causing floods. Water is becoming either a precious and scarce resource or an element that needs to be controlled. The quality of the water is also causing issues. Producing enough potable water is becoming a challenge, and harvests are more and more affected by droughts. By combining education, practical experience, networking, and a commitment to continuous learning, we can enhance our skills in human capital and contribute to a sustainable and resilient water sector. Addressing water-related challenges often requires interdisciplinary approaches and effective communication with diverse stakeholders. Human skills, empowerment skills, and soft skills play a crucial role as they contribute to effective communication, collaboration, and sustainable development. With the world around us changing at a fast pace, lifelong learning and adaptation are crucial. Professionals should stay updated on new technologies, research findings, and best practices. But to effectively navigate the complexities of today's challenges and to contribute to sustainable and resilient water management practices, we need to develop human skills as well. As World Water Academy, we integrate these 21st century skills in all of our courses.
Okay. So human skills, empowerment skills, and soft skills play a crucial role as they contribute to this very important effective communication and the collaboration and sustainable development in the water sector. Now, there is a strong relationship between 21st century skills and human skills, as many of the competencies align. And as World Water Academy, we design our courses with the 21st century skills in mind. And I think Naomi just shared the 4 C's of communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. And that's exactly where what we always keep in mind when designing a course. And how do we do that? World Water Academy delivers their courses through action learning. And action learning is an educational and problem-solving approach that involves learning by doing, and therefore, and then reflecting on the experience. It bridges the gap between theory and practice, and it allows participants on the courses to apply theoretical knowledge to real-world situations. And all courses of World Water Academy are designed according to this action learning program. Now, the water sector requires collaboration along professionals from various disciplines, including engineers, scientists, policymakers, but also community leaders. So what do you need? You need collaboration and communication. Very, very important across disciplines. Soft skills such as teamwork, adaptability, and interpersonal skills are needed for effective communication and problem solving across different domains and stakeholders. In our course, Integrated Water Management, we pay attention to that. And our participants, they have to collaborate with various stakeholders and professionals from different disciplines. Effective communication and collaboration is key. And for their final assessment, participants have to write a policy paper for a governing water board. So very real life situation. So we pay attention to that. Then something about communication, something that might look familiar to you. I thought it was rather funny how we sometimes get lost in research and making reports, but then in the sector do not communicate enough and do not communicate maybe even how proud we are of what we are doing or what we have done in the sector, in the water sector. And I think this is a lack of communication, really. That we should work on. Another important thing is critical thinking, one of the 4 C's, critical thinking and problem solving. In our higher level technique wastewater treatment course, we pay attention to that as well. Participants from different wastewater treatment plants have to come up with solutions for real life problems in their in their plants, and they have to come up with improvements or solutions for problems by collaborating and out-of-the-box thinking. They come up with recommendations for improvements for their own plant, and then they present their solutions by means of a poster presentation. So again, communication, critical thinking, and problem solving all in one thing for professionals in the field. And we know that sometimes for sometimes older employees, that's quite a challenge to do that. Creative thinking, another one of the 4 C's, very important. In our high-level drinking water course, we pay attention to creative thinking. We encourage that, and participants are encouraged to think outside of the box and outside of traditional frameworks, and they have to come up with innovative solutions in their capstone project. Problem solving, another one, really important. And that's one too fast. Critical thinking and problem solving, very important. And how we apply that is through a serious game. Research has shown that serious games have a positive impact on cognition, and they generate significant learning achievements. We have noticed an increased motivation and engagement among participants with the serious game in our dike technology and dike design course. Participants were challenged to think outside of the box, think critical, and solve problems while interacting and collaborating. And we got huge and positive feedback from this serious game that we designed ourselves. Again, continuous learning, adaptation is key, and a commitment to lifelong learning. But there's one thing, as long as human skills are taken into account. And here you have a small glimpse in our sewerage and urban water course that we just started this week. And you can see about 20 participants from various municipalities kicking off the course together. So yes, lifelong learning, technical skills, really important, but always combined with human skills. We have to take that into account. Now, Naomi said something about we have to keep and retain young professionals for the sector. And research has shown that, and the research was done, by the way, by the Foundation for Applied Water Research, STOA, that there is a disconnect between the younger generation and the older, more experienced generation in the water sector. Young professionals want to make a difference. They want to make impact. And what do they need? They need guidance, they need mentoring, they need support. But overall, very important, they need connection and meaning interpretation. And together with the Foundation for Applied Water Research, we developed the course, The Ecosystem of the Workplace. And this course helps to empower young water professionals to better connect and young and more experienced employees together. And this all because we want to keep the young professionals that enter the sector and retain them and keep them keep them for the sector. And this course is has shown to work. So intergenerational dialogue also really important, and a difference in human skills between the younger generation and the more experienced generation. So I hope this has given you an idea of what we do as World Water Academy and how we can help. And interesting to see if you have any questions, always open to questions, and thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Gabrielle, for your input, and I think we will have questions and a conversation about it as follow-up. But first, Christian, can I give the floor to you for a short introduction of yourself and your perspective on human skills? Why is it interesting Why should we pay attention to it?
Okay, in the meantime, introducing myself, I try to share my screen. I hope you can see as presentation and it work well. Okay, super. First of all, thank you, Naomi, for inviting me. You know that I believe strongly that human skills are very important, not only in the water business, but for all the activity. I'm Christian Carboni. I'm the leader of the working group Water and Public Health of Water Europe. I'm a business development manager of the Nora Water Technology Italy, which is meaning that I'm 26 years working in the water sector as consultant before and as employee of Industria De Nora in the last 13 years. I thanks a lot Gabrielle because she talked about on many of the skill I will touch in my presentation, which make me easy to make my speech. Gabrielle explained very well. The water sector is called to respond to big changes in the last year: climate change, water scarcity, sustainability issues, which means we need to take account also of this in defining the technology that we want to use. And also we are switching to a relatively simple approach based on tables, parameters to be compliance, to a new way of thinking, new way of making approach to the problems, that is risk approach, preventive approach. Because if I have parameters on PFAS, I can find PFAS after 10 years when people are drinking PFAS. In Italy, we have big issue with PFAS, in particular in Veneto region, in Vicenza. If there is no parameter of PFAS inside, no one check it, and we discover that the people are dying 10 years later that they are drinking PFAS. No? Now there is one health approach. The new drinking water directive in European Commission are pushing for the risk management. Okay, for example, I'm the leader of the team building that can make risk management of utility. We need to take in life in the sustainability, take in mind the life cycle assessment, because we cannot take only the CAPEX or OPEX. We need to take in mind all the costs of a new solution. And as Gabriele explained very well before, we need an holistic and multidisciplinarity approach. It's not so simple, because first of things, we need to understand we need to make an analysis, which means identify the main components that we need, because if we don't take into account that we can have arsenic in the water, in the soil, we don't call an expert or geologist in the table. Analysis seems a very simple skills, but when the problem becomes bigger and we need to identify all the components, is not so simple to identify. And if you make the question to the artificial intelligence, if you don't put the question the right way in this moment, tomorrow I have no idea. The answer is not complete. Because with the artificial intelligence, you will make a webinar on this, take information from the web. Sometimes the information on the web are not complete at all. Okay, for example, I'm an expert on ozone. If I take paper with the ppm needed in water treatment was water treated in ozone and the contact time, a lot of this data, in particular the very old data, are wrong. Because they made the ozone by air, they make also nitrogen oxide, acid nitric, and this change the contact time. Now we are not making nitric acid in drinking water. We are lucky, okay. And the contact time are longer. If I go to take the information with the intelligent artificial intelligence from the website, I find both, no? It's not so simple identifying the right data with the wrong one, which is an example, no? I fully agree with Gabriele on the importance of continuous learning. I saw people working in a lot of sectors, but they are not learning every day. This meaning that they make no question about why. I buy one product without no brand, okay? Why I buy it? Because if you don't understand that I use it also for make picture, I don't suggest to put a camera. If we sales plant for a customer, sometimes if I ask to sales people or why the customer buy, I have an idea. They ask for this product and we sell. Ah, interesting. We make maintenance, go to visit the customer. Are you asking why they are using? No, we make them a maintenance. We arrive, make maintenance, and go away. If you don't take it, which is valid for water sector, car, how much time the people are asking to you when you make maintenance to your car, why you buy that kind of car? No one are asking, no, why? If you are not asking to the customer why you are buy one car or another one, how the sales and marketing can know? It's a very simple question, but they can do when you buy a phone, when you make maintenance to your car and so on. No one do. And if you have no information, you cannot learn. And you cannot give information to the marketing and other office. If you don't, why? Why I need 2 ppm of ozone or 1 ppm of chlorine? Why I need different value? If you don't ask, you are not learning the difference in oxidation power of these two compounds, no? If you don't ask yourself, you cannot make continuous learning. It's not a problem only of the company or of making course. It's primarily a problem of our passion and our curiosity in the job. This is my opinion, no? And if you can push the company to send you to the course of Gabriele, to send you, give you a mentor that can help you, no? But this is first needs start from me. Continuous learning, meaning change agility. Gabriele explained very well. Before we needed to have an open mind, propose innovation. I put some example later. This meaning I run very fast in these topics because Gabriele explained touched all of them before me in a better way and with a better English for sure than me. Okay. Assertive communication. This meaning try to involve and adapting the style of the speaking audience. We have Anka now that is managing this communication today. If I talk with technical high-level issue with people are not technician, the problem is not the people that are not understanding me. The problem is I'm using the wrong method for explaining myself to them, no? And sometimes we have this problem, in particular researcher as me or technician, no? But one of the points I want to stress is leadership, no? We can have here. For me, leadership is not one people that give direction to the other. It's leadership that involve the people and the distributed leadership. If we cannot explain the other, involve the other with passion, we can make a small change in our company, small change in the world. It's the same for the business and for the change that we want to see in the world, no? Customer focus. Sometimes the approach is we have in the water sector, but also in other sectors, we have the products. Do you want this product? Please buy this product, no? But this is, in my opinion, is not the right approach. I have a problem. Now, can you help me to solve the process? No. And for the problem could be different solution. And normally one solution is the better than not the other, no? And also when we have relations with the people inside to the company, no? Because for sure, I'm business developer making research. For me, it's interesting to very agile, but in company, there is some people that need to put all the data in SAP, no? If I don't have in mind that they have some problem because they need to make balance and so on, I cannot try the way to make in negotiation and other very important skills to find an alternative that are win and win, no? That help both to solve my problems and to solve their problems because we are different job, no? We have a customer internal and external. One of the skills is we need to have in mind not our idea. I have this project, I want to sell this, but the customer idea, vision of a problem, internal and external. No? I have this need, how you can help me, how we can win together in solving this problem. No? Another thing is planning organization, because without planning organization, normally we have a lot of idea, but if we don't plan when we cannot do. Teamwork explained very well Gabriel before. I wanted to use two very simple examples. No, I talked about this topic 1 minute ago. What's happened if Newton don't ask himself why the apple fall? What's happening if I don't ask why the people are buying my products? What are the applications? It's not only on my fields, because you know better than me, Naomi, because you make serious game, you make a lot of activity. But sometimes there is innovation in other sector that I can use for solve a problem in my sector. Technology transfer, no? If I am not curious, not only in my sector, but also in other sector, how I can try new solution. And this is typically a problem of a people very old as me, because we are not, it's difficult for me to make disruptive. If you see a child go to a playing, they go and run everywhere. If I see a game, I follow the rule, no? But the young professional can make disruptive because they have a mind not schematic as my mind, too much old, no? But with my experience, my mentoring, I can help young people to seek broader horizon by giving them the best to build new solution. Now, this together, experience, networking, contact, management of the risk, because giving from experience with the young, we foresee the things can make it. But if they don't make question, if they are not curious, if they don't read, normally, and I'm telling this thing because every day I see my job inside my company, but in particular outside in the school. Also, I have a son and daughter now. This happened. Why? Why the priors cannot marry it? One in the history starts with why we start. No, we need to put question not only in the technical issue, but also why Israel and Palestine are there. What's happening today? No, it is a problem in history. If you don't understand the fact that you cannot propose solution, okay? And this is same also for innovation. No, Apple. When you tell people think it to one apple, no, you can find an apple. But if you talk with the Beatles, they probably thinking about the records, music. If you ask to someone else, they think software or a PC. If I ask to my son, with his mode, he think to Snow White, no? And you are told, but I tell Apple, first is a problem of communication. How it is cheaper? What is meaning cheaper? For me, cheaper is €1 probably. For the people living in Africa, €1 is not cheaper. It is the money of 1 month. If you are asking to someone very rich, cheaper is €1 million. For me, it's not cheaper, be sure. Okay, and sometimes is also the problem of see one problem for a different point of view, because this can be innovation. I put here one example. In the NORA, in our company, we have a process for improve innovation in the company, but also very small innovation, a party from the people that are sick or they are waiting for a baby and so on near to the entrance, no? Very short innovation, but that are coming from the experience that you do every day, okay? In 1 year, we collect 1,300 plus or more ideas coming from the employee of the people, and these are improved inside to the company. No, this means that innovation is not only winning the award in the NORA as I does a few years ago as a technology infrastructure. It's not disruptive innovation only. It's the innovation that you can put every day. No, this means change agility. I see the problem for a different point of view. I can suggest suggestions that other people are not seeing. No, this is the two examples that I wanted to share about the change agility, the learning. I don't want to take other time. I leave the space to the question and so on. No, but because when we talk about teamwork in training, critical thinking, it seems something abstract. No, it's something that started from the things of every day, innovation, learning, and so on. And thank you, Naomi, for the opportunity, because, I love play this game, I love working with you, and so on.
Well, thank you so much. I have a very small final presentation before I have some questions, and I already seen some activity on LinkedIn as well. Please do still enter. We will take it into the conversation. My presentation has has to do with one of the questions. It was a question to Gabrielle, but I have a presentation, a very short one, about the European projects that we are involved in and about what we learned, because we did a bit of research, a bit of overview from the last projects that we were in. And in those projects, we are most of the time the provider for the capacity building program, but more and more it's now also connected with societal impact programs. So the integrated approach becomes more and more. And what does that push? It's a wish also from the European perspective to be more human-centric and have a more human-centric approach towards innovation. And how we're going to do that is quite difficult. There is not one answer. With a lot of technical innovations, if we do it this way, it will work. Well, it can work for one region, it can work under one circumstance, and it won't work the next time. And that is what human skills make the most fun. You always have to adapt to the context of who is learning, what do they really want, what do they want to apply it to, and what are the circumstances behind it, because there is no one size fits all. There are multiple theories, methodologies, tools that are proven. They can work, not that they will always work, that can work and are effective, but you still always have to have that own critical thinking as well of how to do that in a specific circumstance and how to communicate it as well. I think what makes the innovation and especially the human skills part into that higher up on the agenda is the high speed of transformation and the feeling of people that are left out, and how can we be inclusive of everyone, and how can we really get everyone's knowledge on board. So with that feeling integrated into knowledge, not just in your ivory tower thinking of something brilliant, it doesn't work, because you can think of something brilliant, but if we all won't use it, nothing happens. It's about how we can integrate it. So there is a change in that, and I have two short examples. I won't explain this whole model. It's a model of a European Horizon project of iMermaid. And in the last webinar, Leo explained something about the citizen science activities in this project. We are also partner in that project to support the capacity building of the community itself, and to create at the same time societal impact. And the fun part is, I remember one of the first things when I started the program, the European Junior Water Program, is the question from someone from Water Europe. It was like, but what do we need to learn you, all the young professionals, to be able to talk to people? Because one thing we need to start doing is talking to people. And so that was still for me a driver to find that link between skills and education and the capacity building with how can we create more impact. And the fun part about working with young professionals, as Gabrielle said it as well, we want to make that impact with our work. So it's a good connection, but how we can still train, and we need to support each other on it as well. And we need to fail, and we also need to be allowed to fail, and we need to have fun with it. And with that, I think the community all comes well together. So we need to have a purpose of why we're doing it. We need to have a community to do it, and we need to find each other as well. in the diversity and how we can support not only technical innovation, because this is a project that's based on technical innovation. And with the connection with the social side and soft skill development side of it, we can make each other stronger and we can make more impact with it. And this other project that I wanted to mention, it's a completely other style project because it's an Erasmus Plus project just started, in which we try to incorporate the soft skills also into the educational system in the university. And what's needed then, because we can start while people are working. It makes life easier if we start a bit before as well, because we are trained often to find solutions ourselves until we start working, and then we find out that it's not a one-person solution, and you don't do it for yourself, you do it for everyone, and we need to be able to connect. So that whole change, hopefully we can do something to support it from bottom up as well. But that was also to reflect a bit on, okay, so how could this mean, how could this work within European project? And with that said, close the screen, the sharing of the screen. And I do have first question to you, Christian, and my challenge would be that if you answer the question, please ask a question back to someone else, so that we can have a bit of conversation. Because you say we need to explore also with other sectors, because if we have a broad view, we can adapt it and we can learn and we can innovate. And I completely agree, but there's no time and there's no one to do it. So we don't let anyone to go to a completely other conference or even a training or anything, because we don't have time. So how are you, or what is your proposal of how can we be such a broad professional and find time to do these things, because we already have so much work?
Oh, good question. Probably is better to do this question to Gabriele on time management and so on, because with this a lot of topic question of this, there is not only a leakage of knowledge of other sector, but also sometimes in water sector. You know that the results of research of a lot of horizon, you touch research project now. Yes, we have a lot of solution technology, but no one knows. It's not a problem only for other sector, but also in the water sector, because there is no communication of this. No, I think that for sure artificial intelligence can help probably to make some activity. As manager, because I'm the knowledge manager, is we need to manage better our time. This meaning we need to delegate some activity that is not important to do by ourselves. This meaning to other people, and also cut some kind of activity, okay? Because sometimes we are losing time writing a lot, making a lot of report, making a lot of that no one read. Very vast in time. Gabriel put a slide on this now before. We can do it. Why we are losing time on this? No. Second is curiosity. For example, I take it time reading during my flight. Other things, talking with people during the dinner. And you know that this is true because sometimes you had dinner with me, what you other people. We are losing the potential of a real relation during the meeting, because if I check everything on internet, for sure I lose a lot of time. If I have a dinner with you and Gabriel, we can find the bridge from ourselves in very short time, because there is 2-3 minds working together. No, for me, one of the things, you go to fair, talking with people, you saving time. And you have also good relaxation, good wine, a good dinner, and so on. No? This could be. I have no idea. I'm not an expert in communication and time management, but and this is the reason why I leave the floor to Gabriele. I wanted to ask, turn to she your question before doing another one.
Okay, thank you. It's an interesting question, Naomi, because we hear that a lot. There is no time. We are so busy. There is no time for either attending a conference or going to a course or making time for the people on the work floor to attend a course because daily operations have to continue. And of course, daily operations have to continue. However, as a sector in general, if you do not invest, and invest is not only money, but also in time, you have to set priorities and you have to make time. And therefore, like you said, Christiane, I think you said it really well, you have to decide what not to do. Because I am pretty sure there are things we can skip or at least put on hold in order for people to grow, to make time for that most important learning thing, and or knowledge exchange or exchange of ideas. If we do not that, then we're doomed, really, because things are moving fast and we cannot lose time. So yes, the sector is pressed for time. I think it's the same in Italy as it is in the Netherlands. I think we're all swamped in work and the urgent matters, but I think as management, or you have to make time. You have to allocate time for this very important topic. Otherwise, we'll behind the wheel. That's how I feel. So it's a question of making choices, wise choices. What can we leave for now? What can we sort of sacrifice in the world of our, busy lives? What can we put on hold to invest in the future? I think that is. Yeah.
Naomi, can I give you a very simple example? Now, probably you will smile, no? But as you know, I have a son and a daughter, no? And you have your job activity every day, but you need to run every way to football club, dancing school, blah, 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 no? We decide for environmental reason, a time-saving reason, let only one family do this. For example, tomorrow I go to the school with my car. The next day, my nature do this with 3. The car is full, and we save it half an hour in the morning, half an hour, 1 hour in that day. Not so much, but if you think this is a way for saving hour, because it's not activity that you need to do, but it's a problem of connection, because you need to ask another people to help you, blah, blah. And we have also environmental impact, because we are using one car and not go with 3 cars, 3 parents with the child. It had no sense. See, I know that is probably a very simple example, but this is a real example in my life.
It's an example to my heart, and for those people who know and sometimes hear me that I need to run to pick up kids. I think it is a very nice example of what it can bring if you talk to each other and if you work on those human skills, and especially that you can. At this time, we always need to explain at forehand. So what if you go to a meeting, what will you go and get there? Yeah. Can't we be surprised sometimes and be like, wow, you saved my day? Because there's no space for that surprise, because we already need to calculate if it will be effective, yes or no. Well, maybe what seemed to be very ineffective might come up as the most effective time use as well. We just need to be very careful as well. And then comes also another human skills, I think, with how to connect and how to prioritize and know where we want to go, and to be able to explain that to each other. Gabrielle, you had your hand raised as well.
Well, I just reacted immediately to what Christiane said. You said something about sharing the car and that way saving time. I'm thinking of some of the courses that we offer to various waterboards in the Netherlands. And sometimes they say, oh, it's too far traveling. Or they come up with all kinds of things why they cannot participate. But we found a couple of waterboards that were really smart. We had 6 people here, and then they said we do it in company, and then the area around us, other water boards are invited to join as well. So in the end, they came up with sort of the same solution as Christian. They shared the vehicle, and they saved time, the environment, and we were able to give a course not only to one water board, but to loads of people that came to one place. So, and we are always open to think about that, but that's creative, or at least a little bit outside of the box. Because a couple of years ago, they would have said, no, sorry, cannot, not enough people, something like that.
Yeah.
So you need the managers to think in this way as well.
Yeah, and probably they had a conversation that they wouldn't have had otherwise, because sitting in a car together is very effective sometimes because you can't leave. Christian.
Yes, and in the other side, you can think as how much smart working help us with this connection as today, saving, because when I was in office in Milano, now I'm in office in Venice, but we are also in the office in Milano, normally I lose 1 hour or 1 hour and a half going to traveling and 1 hour and a half coming back. It is 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours every day I lose. Okay, if we meet a connection, not all the day, because I talked to you before the importance of the bridge relation, the relation, no, but smart work is another way for saving time. For example.
Definitely. Thinking about time, we're almost at the end, and I do have one important question for all of you to close this session. And because we are talking about the year of skills, and we're talking today about human skills, what is the human skill, or in this year of skill, that you have for yourself as a thing that you further want to develop? So what's your own learning goal in this, and do you already have an idea how to get there? Gabrielle?
Okay. I'm nodding, but I think maybe more of communication, a part of communication. To keep it very close to myself, I'm good at transmitting. Maybe it is very good to be an active listener as well, because that is also part of communication. So maybe more of active listening skills.
Wow, cool, thanks. Christian, any inspirations for this year?
For me, my principal attitude for my job as more voluntary is problem solving. I make volunteer or in Caritas or other sessions solving the problem with people. In my job, I solve the problem of contamination, public health. Communication is not so good. My English is an example, but for sure, I wanted to improve, for me, creativity and communication, because I have a problem as researcher, sometimes too much technical, don't manage. My daughter use some tools for making video or share video communication better than me, and this is for sure my limits. Communication with serious game, with modern tools and so on, because I have a lot of things to tell to the people, but sometimes I not understand the right way.
Well, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for also answering this question, for the stories about what we can find about human skills, where we can find it to develop them further, what the needs are. In a month's time, we will dive into more about the skills of artificial intelligence. If you have any questions or about the activities of Water Europe, of the working group, of wateropleiding in the World Water Academy, H2O, or the working group on water and health, also very important. Also have an amazing white paper out on the web. Please do contact us. We look forward to answering also more of your questions online if you have them. And I hope to see you next month as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.